This video is brought to you by Ultrahuman. More about them at the end of the video. What's up everyone, welcome back to Stag voiceover. My name is Neil Glasgow. Apologies that it's been about a week since my last video. It's been a week. I've had my COVID jab, I was destroyed, but you know, I'm halfway to healthy, so that's a positive. This week, what I wanted to talk to you about was the dreaded conversational read. No idea why I did it like that, but anyway, let's get into it. So, I've been working with a client through Fiverr, and this is maybe the second or third time I've worked with this client, and they sent me over a job. It was quite a technical read, about 400 words, something along those lines, 450. But the read was all about net zero carbon emissions in new house buildings in Scotland under various different new regulations. All, like I say, fairly technical stuff. So, I did my first read, and what they said to me was they wanted it more conversational. No problem. That's absolutely fine. Know what that means. And this was a change in tact from them. So I did the conversational read, and this takes it from, this is the new regulation that we're doing, to, you know, have you heard of the new regulation? It's a lot lighter in tone. And when you're doing a conversational read, what you're trying to get across in your read, if you're not familiar with it, is that it's like talking to a friend. It's like having a conversation. You use contractions, you maybe emphasize certain words, you make it sound a lot lighter and a lot more engaging rather than someone being talked at, you're someone who's being talked to. Really simple, okay? You think. So, I do this, another conversational read, and what comes back is they would like it more conversational, okay? But here are all the words that I emphasise. Then it's words like ands and buts, or heat pumps, or something. Something for me doing the read, it was like, okay, well, that's where I would put something in, because again, I'm trying to still draw someone in. I'm trying to give them some information. But okay, I'll tone that back. More of a conversational read, but without any emphasis. So I do the read. That goes off, that goes to the client, that comes back. Could we have it more conversational? And again, let's make it less emphasis on any word at this point. And now it's starting to twig. I'm starting to get more confused, but I'm also realising that the client may not know what conversational is. And this is what I wanted to make this video on. So you get asked for a conversational read all the time, right? It's so prevalent within the business. And usually when you're doing a conversational read, messed up my words there, I've been doing this all day. If, say, the script says something like, that is, you would normally say something like, that. Okay? It's a contraction, it makes it informal, it makes it familiar. That's the sort of thing that works on a conversational read. What I'm doing to you right now, or with you right now, this is a conversational read. This is me just talking because this is what's in my head, and, you know, this might help you. But the way that this client was reading conversational was essentially making it monotone, for lack of a better term, and that kind of goes against everything that you think that you need to do in voiceover. So, the more that I read this, it was literally no inflection, no emphasis, no style on any word in particular. And what ended up happening was I nearly read this entire thing monotone. This is the building regulations of Scotland. Here at this company, we really find that we're doing this. Personally, not my cup of tea. However, that's what the client was doing. So I went back to the client because one of the comments was that I had used contractions. I'd use that's instead of that is, and so forth. And I had to go back to them and say, can you just clarify for me your understanding of conversational? Because in a conversation, this is how you would normally work. This is, you would normally emphasize a couple of words. You're trying to get a friend to understand what it is that you're talking about. Even me saying, understand, that's kind of how my cadence works. But that's not what they were after. And I had to really go back to the client, because if you get one of these jobs, and what I mean by one of these jobs is one of these jobs where the client keeps coming back to you with kind of conflicting information. We want you to be conversational, but monotone. We want you to be engaging, but don't engage, that sort of thing. We want you to be a calm, aggressive man. What does that mean? It's the sort of thing that you need to be able to go back to your client. Sorry, I hit the mic there. You need to be able to go back to your client and say to them, can you just clarify for me? There's nothing wrong with doing that, by the way. It doesn't make you any less professional in the job. But saying to them, this is what I think you mean. This is the understanding that I have based on what it is that you're telling me. And try and get that right. Because the alternative is doing what I did, or rather, what happened to me. I ended up doing the same job 4 times. Because I kept doing what I know as conversational, I kept doing what I know as engaging, etc. Because, they've heard my work. It's kind of why they came to me to do this. They've come to me on Fiverr. Having the instructions that they gave me versus the feedback they gave me, they didn't line up. And it's always worth just having that conversation, especially when you're working with an intermediary. And now I don't mean Fiverr here. This was a client who was, I won't name them, but a client who had a client. So I would send it to them, they would send it to the client, and like a week later, some feedback would come back. Now, for me, I'm always happy to make sure my client gets what they're paying for. But 4 weeks go by and they want a revision on something that I've already been paid for. Fiverr pays you after 3 days. That comes down to your goodwill at the end of the day. And the more that this goes on and frustrates everyone involved, you don't want to work with that client, and potentially they don't want to work with you. However, going back to them and saying, this is what I think you mean, based on the information you're giving me, this doesn't quite make sense. Can you clarify? And I actually did that this morning because they hired me to do pretty much the same job again. But I've said to them, look, this is what I think they mean, and if that's not what it is, this is my number, please phone me, because I don't understand what it is that they're after. And you need to understand that as well. You need to be confident enough to go out and do that and, put your hand up and just say, please help. But also understand the terminology correctly that's out there to do that. So that's the video. That's kind of the advice. You are going to come across these jobs, and buzzwords are out there. And at the minute, conversational isn't quite a buzzword, but it is something that you see on so many jobs. And quite often, it's something that maybe a more inexperienced third party may use and not know what it means. So just be that font of knowledge for them that they can tap into. And ultimately, what that'll get you is not only a successful job, and you'll do it probably in 1 or 2 takes, but they'll come back to you. That's the important bit. And that's always the message that I'm trying to get across. If you do a good job, people will come back to you and hire you again. Hopefully that helps. If it has, if it's just been even remotely interesting, like and subscribe and share it on YouTube and Twitter and all the buttons. Hit all the buttons. I like that. Not the thumbs down. Actually, if you got my thumbs down, put a comment down. I'd love to know what it was about the videos that irritated people. That's actually kind of important for this to be successful. But, like I say, every time I sign off a video, you can absolutely be a voiceover artist. I'll see you in the next video. This is Ultra Human. Join the holistic fitness movement. You can get fit, reduce stress, run marathons, improve your mobility, and enhance your productivity with the world's best coaches and athletes. You can get fitness tips and videos from some of the world's best professional athletes. You can get yoga walkthroughs from the world's most revered yoga gurus. Full body workouts for any fitness level. Mindfulness and meditation walkthroughs to really relax your body. And at night, you can listen to myself and some other wonderful narrators as we lull you to sleep after a long day. You can get a free trial for Ultrahuman with the affiliate code that's in the description. Learn from the best with Ultrahuman.